happy Halloween to you. My name is Cordelia Breyer. Welcome to my little horror cabaret, aka my coat closet, baby. I took a coat closet and I tried to make some magic for you. I hope you're enjoying it, right? So, what are we going to do here? What we do here, well, we pick a horror movie and we talk about it. And we talk about the backstory that actually ignited the idea to create this horror movie. There's actually a lot of them out there that I was shocked at. Some of them were actual true stories. Because you know how horror movies will sometimes say, based on a true story. Some of them don't. Some of them don't say that because they don't want to mislead you and say, well, it's based on true story and yet nothing matches. So some of them don't let you know that there were actual real events that helped inspire the creation of these movies. It really depends. Then you have the other movies that are based on true events, and then you go to research those true events, and some of these movies miss the mark, okay? Well, Nightmare on Elm Street here, Freddy Krueger, was based on true events. In the respect, these true events inspired Wes Craven to create this seemingly epic yet wonderfully cheesy villain. And I was thinking about the fact that how many people have never seen Nightmare on Elm Street, and yet how many of you know who Freddy Krueger is? I was thinking there's actually a lot. You know, I've talked to a lot of people that are like, no, I've never seen it, but I know who Freddy is. That's a level of success that I can't even begin to explain to you guys. To make yourself such an iconic character in an iconic film that people know the film, they know the character, and yet still have never seen it. That's pretty freaking amazing. It really is. But there were some sad events, unfortunately, that kind of inspired the whole haunting of your dreams that Wes came up with. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then, just to lighten the mood a little bit, when I'm all done here, I'm going to teach you how to make a Freddy Krueger shooter. Now, I'm not a bartender, so what's going to be really fun about this show is that not only are you learning, but I'm learning too. So we're going on a journey that could end badly. I foresee a lot of really poorly made drinks in some of my videos, but we're going to go for it anyway, damn it. And we're going to have fun, and we're going to talk about things. And, you know, I am just going to level with you guys. I'm not shooting for fame here. I don't need to be famous. I don't need to be Captain Cool, okay? For me, this is a fun hobby, an opportunity for me to talk about things that interest me and do something I love, and get to share it with you as well. So I hope you'll come on that journey with me and we can have fun together. So we're just going to kick it right off. And we're first going to tell you about Wes Craven himself. He was born August 2nd, 1939 in Cleveland, Ohio. He was born to kind of a messed up set of parents. You know, his father was angry, aggressive, did not treat them very well. Sadly, at age 3, his father passes away. Okay, not his father, but he was 3. You know what I mean? Okay, anyway, so at age 3, his daddy dies. It's sad, but is it really? I don't know. It sounded like he wasn't a very nice guy. But he passes away, and then he's stuck with his mom. Unfortunately for Wes, he was a strange kid. He was a kid that enjoyed interesting things. He had a vivid imagination. He liked to write little short stories and things like that. Well, he had a very, very, very religious mother whose sanity waved bye-bye to this wackadoo a while ago. And basically any time that Wes would have any form of creativity or, heaven forbid, original thought process outside of what was being pounded into his head, well, there was a special place in hell for him. Literally, these were the words she would use. She would tell her little boy, there's a special place in hell for you if you indulge these thoughts and these ideas that you have. I've heard of plenty of different types of abuses in life. where kids get beaten, sexually abused, things like that. But I think the idea of making a person feel that they are nothing and they are garbage for having thoughts and originality and creativity, the idea that they have to live in fear that they're going to burn in hell, that's disgusting to me, because that gives you a lifetime of abuse. That doesn't go away. You know, you grow up thinking there's something wrong with me, or you feel you're ashamed of yourself, and no child should ever have to go through that. So then he's got these parents. Okay, so he's dealing with all that. And just when life couldn't get any better, poor little Wes has to go to school. And as we know, kids are so sweet. They're just sweet little angels. Yeah. So he encounters a bully, picks on him constantly, yells at him, puts him down, sometimes beats his ass from time to time. And our bully's name is none other than Fred Krueger. So I started thinking, did any of you ever have a bully growing up? I did at a young age. Now, as an adult, no, I don't encounter bullies anymore because I don't have time for that nonsense. As a teenager, not really, because I had already established a go F yourself kind of attitude. So not really. But as a kid, yeah, kind of. I was a chubby little kid. I was awkward. I didn't go to the same schools as everybody else because I had just moved to the area, so I didn't know anybody. I unfortunately was an easy target for kids to pick on. And so I did have my share of bullies. And I think like most kids who are bullied, one of two things happens. You either just fantasize about drop kicking the hell out of them and you finally act on it and maybe just punch them in the face. Or, you know, you just kind of settle for it and it just nags at you in life. You become depressed. You become one of those people who feels you're not worth it. You're not special. And now in today's world, we got kids that are killing themselves over bullies. It's pretty intense, you know? And sometimes, even worse, the bullied end up becoming bullies. And that, to me, is just the worst possible end game. Okay? Wes endures all this crap, then has to go home to his mother going, you're going to hell just for like freaking breathing today, okay? So he's dealing with all that. He grows up, he becomes a man, gets through school, ends up becoming highly educated to a point where he was actually a college professor. Basically, if movies hadn't worked out for Wes, he was going to be set either way. He got a good education, he was a smart guy. But what he really wanted to do was make films. Okay? So he gets up and he goes out there and he's like, I'm going to make films. Well, his first real set of films that he ever made was, in fact, an adult video. He made an adult video. Now, don't get all excited. Don't worry. He wasn't naked in it or anything. He wasn't like starring in the show. But he did help to create and direct this video. And let me just check my notes real quick because I can't remember off the top of my head what it was called. It was called The Fireworks Woman. I haven't watched it yet. Have you guys seen it? You can tell me if you have. It's okay if you watch porn. We're all adults here. I guess at this point I should say warning. There are some things that are going to be discussed on here that are not appropriate for children. Viewer discretion is advised. Although, honestly, if you need discretion to be told that maybe you shouldn't tune into this kind of stuff, I don't know. It just seems like common sense. If we're not talking about unboxing Barbie dolls, I don't think your kid needs to be watching this show. But nonetheless, you have been warned. There will be curse words occasionally. There will be videos that take place where we will play actual recordings of exorcisms and things like that. So yeah, maybe not suitable for your kids. Anyway, getting back to Wes. So Wes starts dabbling into the wonderful world of adult filmmaking. Then he decides he wants to dabble in other things and he starts getting ready to direct Nightmare on Elm Street. starring Robert Englund. Now, man, I'm telling you, Robert Englund's face will be buried in my head forever as Freddy Krueger. I will never be able to see him as anything else. He was just incredible at this movie. So it stars teenagers that are getting murdered by a man who was burned alive by the townspeople for being a child pedophile, disgusting piece of shit. And as usual, the legal system in America failed these people, and this guy gets out on a technicality. So the townspeople are like, yeah, well, we got to kill him. There's no other option. We got to burn this guy alive. Well, that backfired because Freddy ended up coming back and taking revenge in the form of terrorizing their children in their dreams. And if Freddy got you in your dreams, you were done for. It was over, okay? He would slice you in the movie and then you'd get scars coming out. If he cut your throat was cut and you were bleeding everywhere. So there were like epic deaths in this movie. Just unnecessary amounts of blood just to add to the gore factor. Honestly, Nightmare on Elm Street was a total like kind of goofy B-rated movie. Freddy pops in and his little cameos, makes his goofy little jokes. There's a scene where he's like popping out of the bathtub like a gynecologist, just chilling. Then there's one where he's like talking on the phone to one of the girls and he's just like sticks his tongue out of the phone. He's like, He's so inappropriate. Okay. In 2021, oh God, this movie would have never would have been created. But that happens. All these kids are dying. And among them, a guy you might know very well by the name of Johnny Depp. This was Johnny Depp's first movie, you guys. And man, did he get an epic death. I hate to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but honestly, it was made in 1984. If you haven't seen it by now, I think we're past spoiler alerts here. But yeah, Johnny's death was just spectacular. It was great. So anyway, that movie gets made. It goes on to be a low budget film that actually raked in millions of dollars. It continues for years. 7 different sequels to this movie. I mean, it really became a huge franchise. It was incredible. Wes Craven essentially stuck it to his bully by saying, you know what, instead of kicking your ass, I'm just going to be like an epic film director, make millions of dollars, and F you, Fred. I'm going to use your name in it too, just as an added, yeah, Fred. So what I didn't find out, and if any of you actually know this, I'd love to know what happened to Fred. Like, is Fred still alive? Is he still with us? Did him and Wes ever bury the hatchet? These are things I don't know. And I wish I did, but I don't. So I will look into that further. If I do find out that answer, I'll definitely share it with you guys. But anyway, after watching the film, I'm kind of like, well, man, you created a sleep demon that was attacking people in their dreams. How the heck did you come up with that? So I looked into it. I read about it. Back in the late 70s, we were coming off of Vietnam. Troops were being pulled out of there. We had troops kind of all over that area beyond Vietnam. So we had some troops in Cambodia, but they were getting ready to bounce out. Things were getting pretty heavy in Cambodia with the Khmer Rouge. They were a communist party that was basically hell-bent on enacting genocide and ethnic cleansing, so to speak. They wanted to create a new form of socialism, which essentially gave them control over the people, ownership of the land, and basically were bullying these people and killing them into submission to make them work to produce goods. So, simple version, slavery. Their objective was slavery. But they killed so many of their people, okay? They were recruiting children as soldiers, okay, to kill their own people. These were their people. They were not like immigrants or people that didn't belong there. They were just killing their own people. If these people were not complying with their political views, or they just didn't like the way that they dug up that dirt, they were putting bullets in their head, okay? They were recruiting children who were taking rags, dipping them in gasoline and shoving them down the throats of their own family members and lighting them on fire. The Khmer Rouge really just took torture and anguish and destruction to a whole other level in Cambodia. An estimated 1.5 to 2 million people died from this ethnic cleansing and genocide of their own people. Now, here's my problem. I don't actually remember them ever talking about this in school. Did they talk about it when you guys were in school? Because they didn't talk about it when I was there. And how does that just get missed? Maybe that part where we don't want to say, hey, yeah, we kind of pulled out at a bad time when they needed us. And we just said, screw it. We're done with this. We're done with the war. Good luck. Almost 2 million people. They're not even actually sure how many. Okay, they had killed so many people in the Cambodian killing fields that there were just skulls and body parts everywhere. So they will never actually know how many people were killed. The killing fields were later turned into a high school. Talk about a weird place to have a high school. And then eventually that building gets turned into like a Cambodian killing field museum. Yeah. You can see like skulls and body parts and stuff that they have on display. Literature about the killing fields and things like that you can go and look at today. Personally, I don't know that I'd want to. But I mean, what have you. In the process of looking into the killing fields, which I had never known much, if not anything about, I encountered a movie called The Killing Fields. It also was made in 1984. It starred Sam Waterston. If you guys don't know who that is, picture Law and Order, Jack McCoy. Okay, he was the DA. Man, okay, I admit this movie's kind of slow. It's about a reporter in the Cambodian killing fields. And he could have left, but he chose to stay and document as much of this as he could to try and help these people. And eventually he does leave, and he leaves one of his Cambodian friends behind. He didn't mean to, but he had to. And this guy goes through hell. He's a slave. He's beaten. He has guns put to his head constantly. He's watching little tiny, like 10-year-old children murder their parents and their siblings. He's watching infant babies be drowned and murdered because ain't nobody got time for babies when you're dealing with genocide, okay? So all this stuff is going on. I highly recommend watching it if you're curious about the Cambodian killing fields and like what was really going on. Yeah, you should watch that. Anywho, so all that's going on. All these people have died. It's a horrible situation. Flash forward to the 80s, okay? The ones that did manage to get out of it alive were adopted to U.S. families as refugees. They could come here and seek peace and get away from the situation they were in and start a new life for themselves. Refugees come, everything seemingly is going well at first until they start finding out that a lot of young men between the ages of like 12 all the way to like 19 are just dying. They're dying. They're like dying in their sleep and no one knows why. There's no medical documentation. There's nothing. Wes Craven gets a hold of an article where he hears about a young man who had stayed up for days. They found this kid in his closet with a coffee pot, and he's just drinking coffee and he's taking caffeine pills. He does not want to sleep. He would literally pull out his own toenails rather than go to sleep, okay? And when asked why, he tells his parents, I can't go to sleep. If I go to sleep, they're coming for me. Something's going to get me in my dream. I can't go to sleep. I'm not safe here. Okay, if I fall asleep, they're gonna get me. Somebody is coming for me. Okay, so this goes on for quite a while, and eventually, as the body does, it gives out. And eventually, this kid falls asleep. His parents are sitting down in the living room. They finally go up to check on him. They realize their son is asleep. They're like, okay, finally, he's getting a good night's sleep. Okay. They're, of course, not really worried about it. They're like, yeah, okay, you're having really bad nightmares, but you gotta sleep, dude. And he's like, no, it's worse than that. Something's coming for me. It's gonna kill me. Well, okay, think of all the PTSD. I can't even begin to imagine the PTSD that followed the killing fields for these young kids. Okay, some of them were made into soldiers and made to do this torturing. So imagine having that in your head. Okay, so anyway, parents think kids sleeping good. All of a sudden, they're kind of sitting there relaxing, watching TV. They hear screaming. They run upstairs. It sounds like someone's being tortured, just screaming like, ah! So they run up to help their kid wake him up out of this bad dream he's having. Except they never got an opportunity to do that because when they got up there, their son was dead. He had died. He fell asleep. He screamed in agony and fear, and then he died. Okay? So this is the late 70s. This was something they had not heard of. Okay? They're like, to doing the autopsy. They can't find any real rhyme or reason of why this is happening. So naturally, they're kind of like, what'd you parents do? But then they couldn't even find anything to link the parents. This became scary because they started getting more reports of young Hmong, Cambodian, different types of Asian males. Some were part of the killing field, some of them weren't. But these young men of this certain age category and ethnic background were falling asleep and dying. Okay? Think of how scary that is as a parent. You know, you want your kids to be safe. You want them to go to bed and sleep well and be healthy. And your kid screams in his sleep that somebody's coming after him. You kind of brush it off and then your kid's dead. That's got to be hard to live with. You know, I imagine those parents sat there night after night going, what did I do? How did I killed my kid because I didn't listen to him, you know? But after a few years of research, and quite a few young men of this age and ethnic background died like this. So there's definitely a lot of research going on. Eventually, what they found out was it was a syndrome that at first they labeled as the Asian death syndrome. It's mildly racist, okay? But they named it the Asian death syndrome. It was later classified as SADS, S-A-D-S. You've heard of SIDS. This was SADS. So SIDS, basically it stops a baby's breathing for no rhyme or reason. Baby's asleep, baby stops breathing, the baby dies. It's very tragic. What SADS does basically is it induces heart problems. Now, I'm not a doctor. I wish I could give you a better description, but basically the majority of these men were born with irregular heart murmurs and things like that. Well, what was happening is they were having these traumatic dreams, you know, that would get their hearts just pumping out of fear, especially if it was like a PTSD dream. And essentially they were having heart attacks in their sleep. So the screaming was not necessarily screaming of what they saw in their dreams, but it was like the actual moment of pain before they passed away. So Wes Craven reads about all this, and then he goes, what if I created a demon that was killing people silently in their dreams? But these kids are dying horrific, gory, terrible deaths. I mean, that was the gory spin that Wes put on it. But basically, that's where this all came from, you guys. The Cambodian killing fields, real events, millions of people who died. And then, to add insult to injury, these kids get away from the situation, come here for refuge, and they die in their sleep from the trauma. Their little hearts couldn't take it. I was speaking with a doctor in Starbucks while I was reading about all this, and she said that it's not a very common occurrence. But when it does happen, when SADS does occur, it's more often than not going to be a young Asian male between the ages of 12 all the way to 20. So it is a thing, and apparently it is common among this ethnic background. They don't really know why, but it just is. There haven't been many cases of it since. It's now treatable. They can catch these kind of heart complications and things like that ahead of time. So it's not really a thing now, but think of how scary that had to have been in the late 70s when nobody knew anything and these kids were just screaming in agony and then dropping dead. Then you got to think about the fact that they were actively trying to stay awake because they were so afraid of what they were going to see in their dreams from their trauma, that you got to figure all the caffeine that they were like mainlining. I'm sure that played a part in jump-starting their heart in the wrong kind of way as well. So, yeah, that is the story. It's a very small, very Cliff Notes version of the story, but that is the story. As I progress with these videos and I kind of get into my groove, I'm going to try and be a little more detailed on these stories, guys. But I will tell you, there was so much research involved in this that it actually kind of became overload. And I thought, man, I can't go into every detail. We will be here till the end of time. So, kind of Cliff Notesy version. There are just a lot of things that I'm still learning. Obviously, as you see, we're not video editing, not yet. Kind of just finding my groove, all right? It's kind of like starting a new job. You don't always know your job at first. You got to be trained. You got to get better and better. And then eventually you get into your niche and you're just on it. You got it. So I'm hoping that's what happens here. If even like 2 of you actually came and watched this, thank you so much for that. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. That way I have a reason to continue these videos. I hope that you guys enjoy them. So anyway, that's the sad story of how Nightmare on Elm Street came to be. And it is sad, guys. When I talk about it, I'm trying to inform you and, just talk to you. But I got to tell you, if you really want a powerful experience of what you could even begin to imagine these kids were having nightmares of, go onto Amazon and rent The Killing Fields. It's coincidental that The Killing Fields and Nightmare on Elm Street actually came out in the same year. That's kind of crazy. I don't know if that was planned, but it happened that way. But, I mean, okay, you think about the Holocaust. The Holocaust killed millions of people. We all know about the Holocaust. They talked about that in school. Hitler, what a piece of shit he was. But to my knowledge, unless I ditched class that day, I don't think they ever covered the Cambodian killing fields. It's kind of unnerving when you think about how many things school really didn't touch on with so many of us. And I guess that's why people like me, boats of useless information, walking Snapple caps with random facts on it, I guess that's why we exist. So that we can read, entertain, and share what we know with people. And I guess that's one way to spread education and knowledge. As I said before, I'm sure there are plenty of things I missed in this. And obviously, we're giving you a Cliff Notes version here so that we don't have a video going on till the end of time. At least not till I get into my groove. Okay? But without further ado, I think it's time to be a little less sad and talk about sad stuff and get a little dangerous. So, okay, since I have this here, I want to share something else with you guys. When I decided I was going to go ahead and have a channel, I thought, what do I want to do besides just talk about backstories, talk about movies? I want to do something that helps people in some capacity. So what I've decided is I want to do shout outs to small businesses. So if you have a small business and you have a product that you'd like me to feature, wear on my body, my face, if you want it just hanging out here in my background or something, let me know, okay? Hit my email, Okay, I will be posting that in the description box, and you can hit my email. If you want any of your products featured, let me know. COVID just knocked the wind out of a lot of us, out of a lot of our sales, okay? Christmas time came around last year, and it was like the only things that were really surviving were big corporate businesses. And I mean no disrespect here, but haven't we had enough damn billionaires in this country? I want to see the little man make it. I want to see a little business, like a little engine that could just keep going and keep striving. So if my videos, even if they only get a few likes or a few views, if even a few of those views go to a small business website and buy something to help out the little guy, I'm all about that. So yeah, so I got little things here and there from different people, local vendors. These little earrings here, I don't know how well you guys can see them. The little spidey webs, and they got a little widow in there. That was made by a local vendor here in Stockton, California, where I reside. It's a little company called Bruja by Marissa, Bruja Beauty by Marissa. I will be posting how to get a hold of her as well in my description box. But she makes these cute little resin jewelry. She makes other stuff too. Like, she has really broadened her horizons. She has crystal infused lip oils, things like that. So there's a lot of neat things to look at and look into getting. So definitely check her out. You can hear jingling in the background. That's my cats. I just want to warn you guys, when I'm filming, this is their house and they don't care if I'm filming. So every once in a while, you might get a random guest that jumps out and says hi to you guys, okay? So that's just my kitties. Those are my babies. Anyway, as far as small businesses go, definitely check her out. Look at some cute resin earrings and other stuff that she makes as well. I also have this adorable little flask, and this is what reminded me of it. So this says holy water on it, okay? This is by a company called Straight Out of the Coffin. Dude, these guys are awesome. They have great t-shirts. They have cute merchandise. They sent me this little flask to put my special concoctions in to share with you guys. So you'll see this a couple of times. I got a couple of videos that I'm definitely going to use this on. One of the next videos that we're going to be making here pretty soon is going to be about the exorcism of Emily Rose. My hope is that by my next couple of videos, I step my game up, okay? Get me a nice little script going, some video editing, just do a super glow up of these videos. But I've got big plans. Hopefully I can live up to them, right? So yeah, Straight Out of the Coffin. Again, I will put their information in the description box for you. Please go check their stuff out. Help the little guy out, guys. Seriously, it's the right thing to do. Now, as far as my face goes, I'm actually wearing some makeup that is actually corporate business, so I'm not going to say much about them at this exact moment. But my eyelashes, well, those are made by a little company called Curse Cosmetics. They sent these little eyelashes to me in this adorable little coffin. Isn't it cute? These are baddie lashes, so I will post how to get a hold of them as well. Let me just tell you something about these lashes. Dude, I can't ride these things hard enough, and they just keep going. They're just amazing. Like, do you guys ever get eyelashes that they're like good for one night and that's going to be about it, and they're pretty much worthless after that and you toss them? That is not the case with these. They are amazing. They also make lip sticks. Lipsticks? I don't think it's a lipstick. It's more like a lip paint, so to speak. So I put one of their lip products on a couple days ago. I tried to rub it off, kiss it off, eat it off, drink it off. This stuff stayed for 18 hours straight. Got that? 18 hours straight, this lip potion stayed on my face. So definitely you're going to want to check them out too. So I will be posting all of those things. In my back here, I'll just show you my little decoration area in my little closet. Don't you think it's kind of cool that I managed to take a little basic ass coat closet and I made it all cute? I'm proud. I don't know if you're proud, but I'm proud, okay? I have all kinds of little knickknacks. I have my little skeleton, and he's just bathing in a little cup here. I've got my cocktail recipe book from Hunt a Killer. Have you guys ever played Hunt a Killer? Oh my God. I have a subscription to Hunt a Killer, and it's amazing. Every month they send me just a little bit more pieces to my mystery puzzle. I told you guys, I think I told you guys, maybe I didn't tell you. I love true crime, okay? The reason that true crime really wasn't a factor for me with this show was that I love the queen of true crime. Maybe you guys have heard of her. Her name's Bailey Sarian. She does Murder Mystery Makeup Mondays, where she does her makeup and she talks about a true crime story at the same time. Because I love her and I love how she captures true crime, definitely didn't want to go that route. I was like, no, leave this one to the queen. She has got this, okay? But I thought, wow, okay, she's got that, but how about I talk about horror movies and backstories? That seems kind of cool. So she was definitely an inspiration to me to even want to start this channel. So Bailey, if you ever see or hear of my existence, I just want to say thank you for the motivation. I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Watch her channel on Mondays, and also she does podcasts too. It's pretty freaking awesome. So definitely would be cool to get to that level of the game at some point, but it's not expected. Like I told you guys, for me, this is fun. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to express myself. I'm here to enjoy the things that I enjoy and share a little bit of it with you. So that's my little small business shout outs. Oh, my sweatshirt. How could I forget my sweatshirt? So this is made by a little company called Vera's Eye Candy. This is such a cute sweater. Look at it. It's got little razor blades. Sides. I love it. Vera's Eye Candy. Again, I'll put it in the description box. Don't worry. So you'll know where to get that. But that's my Freddy. That's my Freddy. I've been waiting. This is my first time wearing this sweatshirt. I've been waiting so long to share this one with you. It's so cute. So, yeah. Every time I make a video, if I happen to encounter anything from a small business, I'm going to definitely take an opportunity to share it with you and how to reach them. I think that in order to keep small business alive, we all kind of have to work together. And I'm not saying, death with corporations. I'm not an idiot. I know that corporate companies make the world go round as well. But we really need to nurture the entrepreneur. We need to nurture the person who puts themselves out there and is willing to go through God knows what to have even a little bit of success. Not everybody out there is searching for millions of dollars or fame and fortune. Some people, they just want to provide a good life for their kids. They just want to nurture their creativity, and they just want to share that with you. And I think it's important that we help each other out as much as possible. So yeah, if you're a small business and you want anything shouted out or used or something like that, please let me know. Let me know. If you have a little cup you want me to drink out of, holla at your girl. I'll do it. So, we are at the home stretch. Are you excited? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. If you've scrolled this far and you're actually watching this and you've made it to this point of the game, you guys are awesome. Thank you for putting up with me. So we're going to make a Freddy Krueger shooter. Let me just get my schmeckma together here. We have our secret holy water, aka it's vodka. It's vodka. Okay. That's the secret. It's vodka. All right. Holy water. We have Midori melon liqueur. Typically, I don't like Midori because I don't like melon in general. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the smell of it. Like, do you guys remember in the 90s how popular cucumber melon was at Bath and Body Works? Everybody, and I mean everybody that I was going to school with wore this stuff. And I'm over here like... make it stop. Okay. But Midori actually really helps this drink because there's quite a bit of liquor in it. And so that little kick of Midori kind of helps get you a little extra taste. Now, had originally wanted to do this in a big bar-sized shot glass. Last night for my Halloween excursions, I traveled to San Francisco Bay in a 1920s cabaret themed, makes sense, right? Cabaret themed Halloween party. And so I was like, yeah, open bar, you guys, open bar. So I'm getting effed up from all directions. So now today that I'm paying for it, I thought, I don't actually know if I can handle this kind of shot right now. Hold on, I'm gonna move my camera a little bit. It's kind of bright, guys. Bear with me. I'm sorry. So, I don't know if I can handle this, guys, because there's a lot of booze in this drink. So I decided to be a big wimp and get a little shot glass. Ideally, this shot is designed for a bigger shot glass. So, decisions. What should I do, guys? What should I do? I don't know. I don't want to let you down and make a big wimpy shot, but I feel like that's all I can do. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I think we're gonna go. I think we're gonna go big. You know what? I might get sick and die after this one, but man, you know what? I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Okay, we're gonna go big or go home with this, right? All right. So we also have a key ingredient here, 100 proof hot damn cinnamon schnapps. Now the reason why we have to have this is because we're gonna light this drink on fire. Just FYI, drinks will not light on fire for anything that's like 80 proof. So if you're sitting at home going, well, I don't have 100 proof schnapps, but like I have Bacardi. That Bacardi will only work if it's over 80 proof. It needs to be in like the 90s to 100 range to actually ignite. So unfortunately, sometimes you have to endure some of the nasty shit to make it work, okay? Ideally, I would have used 151, like the 151 rum, but surprisingly, I couldn't find that anywhere. So I thought, you know what? The drink already tastes kind of funky anyway. Let's add schnapps to the party. And surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. Oh, you guys, I've had second thoughts. I didn't eat much today. I'm sorry, guys. Forgive me. We're going back to the wimpy shot. I'm so indecisive. You'll learn that about me very quickly. Okay? So to kind of give you a little extra sweetness, the drink calls for a strawberry syrup. Now, I'm sure that at like a nice fancy store like Bevmo or like Trader Joe's or something, you could probably find a nice, fancy, amazingly organic strawberry syrup. But me, I'm old school white trash, baby. We're going with that Smucker's Sundae syrup. Okay? Strawberry. We're going to open this up by putting a tiny little layer in our shot glass. Okay, just enough to get some color. You guys see that? Believe me, when you hit this shot, at the very end, you get that strawberry. It actually kind of lessens the blow of all the abuse you just put on yourself. Okay. Once again, I apologize for not going big, but I don't think I can do it, guys. You gotta pray for me. Okay, I consumed a lot of liquor last night. I'm sorry. I promise for the next drink, we'll go bigger. Okay. You know, incidentally, I don't actually know how often I'm going to do these. So I wanted to ask your guys' opinion on that. Like, how often do you guys think that I should do these videos? You know, doing them every week, I don't think that's something I can do right now because life, it happens. You have to go to work. You have to make a living. So every week might be a little much, but I'm thinking maybe like every other week, maybe a Friday or a Saturday, you know, the kind of days that you would actually have a drink. Typically, I would have never done this on a Sunday, but because Halloween fell on a Sunday, you gotta, right? So, I got my little stirrer here, my little stirrer. Bartenders use this to float shots, which we're going to float in this one. However, I actually prefer a bigger, just old school spoon. That's just my preference. But these make great little, excuse me, these make great little stirrers. So we're going to get into our holy water here. Remember, it's vodka. Okay, vodka. Open up our holy water. We're going to pour that into our little shot. There you go, my little friend. There we are. Now you don't have to worry about floating this little guy because you're actually supposed to mix this in with the strawberry. So you got my little strawberry flavored vodka situation going on. I keep hitting my head on my little chandelier. It's awkward. All right, so we're going to mix that up, mix it up, mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. Get that strawberry in there as if it's actually going to make things taste magical. Like, dude, this drink is pretty hard. It really is. I hope I can make a small version of it because the one that I made was the big one. I actually didn't experiment with a small one. Hopefully this works. All right. Next up, we're going to float this midori. Get a little green. Got to have that Freddy green and red. You know, it's actually, I think it's actually brown and red, but to me it's like an ugly olive-ish green, so I could see it. I'm going to float that little guy. If I can even move my arm in this coat closet of mine. Here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, little midori. Do your thing, do your thing. Yeah, maybe a little more. Okay. Kind of takes on an ugly, like, brown color anyway. Okay. You see it? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's kind of floating there and it's kind of ugly. It's designed to be ugly. Freddy's ugly. Okay. Then we're going to come in with that hot damn. And they meant that. When they made this, they meant that. Man, this is rough. This is a rough drink. Let's see. We're going to float, float, float. Float, float, float your boat gently to the top. And then we're going to hope this lights. If this doesn't work and it doesn't light, well, then I have no choice. I got to go big with you. I may have to do the bigger shot. But honestly, whoa. I hope not because I don't actually think I can handle it. What a wimpy girl I am on my first video. Don't hold it against me, okay? I know that there are some people that live to make nasty ass comments. So I'm sure I'm going to get them on here. But like, just be nice to somebody who's starting out, okay? We're just here to have fun. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Everything isn't offensive. I mean, you can choose to make it that way, or you can choose to see the fun in life. You can choose to see the funny in life. So, all right, let's see if it works. Keep your flammable objects far away. There it is, baby. You guys see it? You guys see my Freddy Krueger shooter? Ooh. Always keep a cup handy in case this little guy doesn't want to go out. You can put a cup on top of it. But in our case, life's going pretty good. So we're just going to go ahead and blow it out. And it's out. We'll give it a second to cool off. And then we'll knock this guy back. How's it doing? It's doing okay. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for bearing with me, tripping up on my sentences, not being able to edit my video, looking like crap because honestly, I'm mega hungover. But I'm so glad you guys were here to join me. I can't wait to do this again. When I make my next video, I'm going to let you guys know. Like I said, I'm hoping to do a glow up on these and get a little better each time. So thank you for being here with me. Cheers. Oh God. And do you know what this tastes like, guys? This tastes like poor decisions. Yeah. Very poor decisions. I had wondered why they came up with this particular concoction. for Freddy Krueger. You know, I'm like, why didn't they make a big drink or something like that? Which they do have some out there, but they have like Kahlua in them, which Kahlua is kind of gross. I'm sorry, it is. But I thought, midori and strawberry? Like, that seems kind of fruity. Oh, I couldn't have been more wrong. This is fully loaded high octane with alcohol. This is the kind of drink where if you plan on making this with your friends, you better call an Uber because you ain't making it to the car. 2 or 3 of these and you're going to be done, baby, done. Okay? Tastes like straight up poor decisions. It tastes like you're going to drink this and possibly be the next person to make like one of those raunchy Kim Kardashian videos or something. So, you know what? Make them with your friends. Have fun this Halloween. I mean, that's what life's about. Let's have a good time. Please be safe. Use your best judgment with anything you do. Drink as responsibly as possible. You know, I hate to say drink responsibly because the act of drinking in general isn't necessarily responsible. But if you're going to drink, please do it as responsibly as possible. Get that ride home. You know, if you start to feel that maybe you've drank a little too much, learn your limits. Okay? Don't overdo it to impress your friends and stupid crap like that. Okay? Just make good decisions. Use your best judgment. And hopefully you guys will hit that like and subscribe. And I'll see you again when I launch my next video. I think my next video is going to be about the exorcism of Emily Rose. I have been researching this one extensively. It's likely going to be a longer video. I'm definitely more well-versed in the facts with that one. This one, the facts were kind of all over the place. And if I'm being honest, I was a little nervous for this video. So I hope that you guys can forgive me for that. I hope that we had fun. I hope to see you guys again. Just know that every time I do this, I'm going to get a little better each time. And I want you guys to come on that journey for me. Also, don't forget to go into my description box where I will list all of these awesome small businesses where you can get adorable stuff. Okay? Thank you. Have fun. I love you. Be safe. Good night for now.